Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Vikstrand, and today we are going to talk about the muscles from Brussels himself. Now, Jean-Claude Van Damme is, of course, mostly famous for being a very good martial artist and not exactly for being a good actor. He has probably pronunciated the following words: code, bank account, and wake-up call. Apart from, the other awful stuff he is able to do. But for about a decade, from the late 80s to the late 90s, he was able to put out yearly some fairly good movies that was okay. This was the golden years of Van Damme. They could use his limitations and they could still put in some fairly good movies. They weren't amazing or anything, but they were entertaining, and they made okay profit. One movie we're going to talk about today, however, failed miserably with this one. It is called Nowhere to Run. So this is a story about Sam Gillen. He's an escaped convict who ends up in the rural countryside of America. He escapes from a prisoner transportation, and he ends up in a small cottage populated by two children and their mother, a widower played by Rosanna Arquette. That was a dog. They of course don't know that he's an escaped convict because they have other problems. They have something evil lurking around. Evil land developers. We can now add land developers to jobs with absolutely zero positive role models or examples, apart from prison wardens. Now these evil land developers want to buy her cottage, presumably to build a factory to build machines that beheads puppies or something like that. She is unable to protect herself from them, and they have, of course, the law in their pockets. And what to do in our hour of need? Well, a Belgian, of course. The muscles from Brussels will fix this. This is a cliched movie. This is filled with the shticks that goes along with this one. Even when I saw it the first time in the mid-90s, I thought this is kind of an old and redundant story, right? Well, I'm telling you that one, it hasn't, the story hasn't gotten any fresher since then. Now, when you have a movie starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, you need to have kicks, splits, and bunches of punches for you to maintain your interest in the movie. We do not get that in this case. No, sir, we do not. This is a boring drama with some fighting sprinkled across the entire thing, but it is not that much and it is not that impressive. It's not bad or anything, but it doesn't live up to the standard Jean-Claude Van Damme is used to. Who is to blame for this? Probably the screenwriter in this case. Because the screenplay was originally not an action movie at all. It was just a escape from prison and hiding from the law and falling in love with a widower. And Van Damme knew this signing up, and he was told that they were going to fix the script because, well, he's the muscles from Brussels, not the actor from the Ardennes. So he knew his limitations and he tried his damnedest anyway when the script wasn't changed, and it turned into a piece of shit. The fact also is that Van Damme and Arquette doesn't have any sort of chemistry together. Apparently she didn't like working with Van Damme, and it's only in the end that we get all the action and the final confrontation that we so desperately wanted, but it is too little too late. And it should also be mentioned that villains are not very good. I mean, they're too serious and too cartoonish at the same time. They would have had gone either the way of being completely cartoons or being very serious, then it would have worked. Maybe. I don't want to rag too much about it. Van Damme tries his damnedest, but it still doesn't work. This is at the time I thought his least good movie I'd seen with him, but you know, a decade later the quality of his films would be so low that this would be seen like a pretty good one. So I could not recommend this in any case. Okay, so what do you give a lackluster and uneventful Jean-Claude Van Damme movie? 15 sounds like a good idea to me. Yeah, 15. This is not good at all. So that was Nowhere to Run. Man, would you look at this today? Isn't this a fine day to review Nowhere to Run? Well, till next time, this is the Wikstrand signing out.